Hello and welcome back to Craps Hawaii. Thank you for dropping in and watching this video that I'm about to shoot. It was requested by two of my viewers. One is Lester and the other one is called Easy Money. Both of them wanted to know a little bit more about betting that don't come, and one of them wanted to know about the hedging, the ATM hedge, if it could be played with smaller money, smaller bankroll. So I thought I'd just shoot a video where both of them would be seeing what they wanted to see. But before we get started, I want to have just a short talk story session on the don't comes and don't pass bets. Now, the don't come bets, if you're gonna play don't come, I've noticed that you need a bigger bankroll, and that's just because when you're betting on the don't pass or the don't come, you're gonna get even money. So if you want to make more money, then you need to give odds. And if you're going to give odds to make less money, then you're going to need a bigger bankroll than the people are betting the pass side. Because with the pass side, you're going to put money out and you're going to get odds. You don't have to give odds. So like for a fast example, easy is like the 4 and 10. If you go in the don't come and you get up here and you bet, let's say $50, you're going to get even money for that. You want to make money on top of that, then you would have to give odds. So you would have to put like $100 to make $50. Okay, so now you're taking a chance of losing $150 or $100 just to get half of what you're putting out. So I don't feel that that's a good bet, but if you want to play that way, then I think you're going to need a bigger bankroll. Okay, so that's one of the things that you're gonna need. The other thing I think is when you lay bets, it's just the opposite of place bets. You get to choose what number you want to lay against, and most people lay against the 4 and 10 because they feel that that's the least amount of ways that you can make a number. It would be on the 4 and 10, can only come 2 ways. So more than likely, the don't pass guys, if they lay on the 4 and 10. And when you lay on the 4 and 10, you're only going to get paid half the money again. You lay $100, you're going to win $50, but you're going to have to pay a 5% commission on your win. Okay, so for every $20 you win, you're going to have to pay $1. And I've seen a lot of times where people lay the 4 and 10 and like, once in a while that 4 and 10 will come and then you lose $100. So those are one of the things about lay bets. Now, I see people times when they go, oh, the table not passing, the table is cold. So what they do, they bet a don't pass line. Okay, and then they get their point, whatever the point is, and then they go into the don't come, and then they get another point. So let's just say he was in the don't pass, the shooter rolled, the point was 6. What they do now, they go in the don't come, then the dice gets rolled, maybe they get a 9, then they go back in the don't come again, and then maybe now they get a 5. So a lot of times, and this is only my opinion, but a lot of times I feel that by doing this, you're only giving the shooter more numbers to roll, and he may hit your numbers because you're giving him more numbers to roll. And that's why the place bet guys, we put more numbers out because we want the shooter to hit more numbers for us besides just our pass line. So when you start betting that don't come and start putting out more numbers, thinking that, oh, the table is cold, you may get caught where the shooter didn't make the pass, but he hit the 9, he hit the 5, he hit other numbers, and you end up losing. So that's another thing about people that I see when they hear, oh, the table is cold. Well, sometimes the table is cold because the shooter's point was 6, and he rolled a lot of numbers, but he didn't make his point. So some people say, oh, the table's cold, he cannot make his point. Yeah, but he hit all the rest of the numbers. So as a don't pass or don't come guy, you gotta watch that, because you don't want to give the shooter more numbers that he can roll for and hit them. Okay, so that's another thing. Sometimes also the table not doing well, the table is cold or it's choppy, and what I've noticed is that a lot of times the guy is betting the don't, when the dice gets to him and he picks up the dice and throws the dice, sometimes he's the best shooter on the table, and he's throwing points and making his numbers. And I seen guys, and honestly seen guys roll 2-3 pass line bets with a bunch of numbers and doesn't 7 out. So what does he do? He passes the dice. He doesn't want to roll anymore because he's killing himself. And I've seen that. So sometimes when I'm on a table and I see the guy betting don't pass, sometimes I like that because he has the best hand on the table. I'll tell you a story about, I was in Bali's a few years back, and I mean a few years back, maybe 10-15 years ago, and I was on this table playing, and the table went cold, and there was one shooter at the end of the table, and he was a big bettor. He had like $15,000 with him. Everybody else left the table because the table was cold, and so I was the last guy there with him. And so he picked up the dice and he started throwing, and he's betting the don't side. So exactly like I said, he's betting the don't side, then he's betting the don't come, bringing his points, and he's betting don't come and bringing the points, and still betting don't come and bringing the points. And all he's doing is hitting all these points, hitting all these points. And he's not betting small now. Okay, he's betting about $300 to $500 a number, and he's just killing himself, and he's getting upset. So what does he do? He starts flying the dice. He wants the dice to hit and bounce off the table, so that, you know, as we think that when the dice goes off the table that it's going to become a 7 on the come out, right? Well, it didn't. He kept throwing, and he actually shot himself out of $15,000. His girlfriend and his friend told me, let's go, but he insisted. He was so upset that he wanted to get his money back. He played till he had $500 or $700 left out of his $15,000. So they started to walk away, and he got about 5 feet, 6 feet from the table, turned around and got upset, set that money down right on the field. I don't know, $500, $700 already. It was all mixed up, his chips, so they're about that high. He grabbed the dice, threw the dice, 5 and no field. 5 and no field. Boy, was he upset. Casino took his money, then they ended up walking away. And you could hear his friend and his girlfriend telling him, so now you're happy, now you're happy. So that's just a story that I saw when I was there. So you know, I'm not a don't pass guy. I like to play the pass, but there are people that they want to play the don't pass. and that's fine. I have nothing against that. If that's what you want to do, then that's fine. So just for a short video on the ATM hedge, they wanted to see, well, at least Lester wanted to see, instead of a $300 bankroll on a don't come pass bar, instead of betting 300, he was thinking, well, how's about 100 or 150? So I'm just gonna do 150, and then I'll explain why I don't really care for, you know, a smaller amount bet on the don't come bar. Yeah, I don't personally bet against the don't pass. Okay, so I always bet the don't come. And anyway, so on the ATM hedge and any don't pass bar or don't come bar, you got to get past the 7 and the 11. So on the ATM hedge, if you watch the video, you need to get past the 7 and the 11. Once you get past that 7 and 11, you're home free. Okay, so in this case, let's just throw the dice, let's see what happens, but I'm not going to run through the whole sequence. Okay, so 9, right? So you're going to come, that don't come bar is going to come up to the 9. Okay, but the point is 9. So now you want to hedge this $150 that you have on a don't come. So to hedge this, you need to bet at least $100 on the 9. Okay, and $100 is only gonna hedge your don't come for $140, so you're still short $10. Okay, so you could put another $5 here more, and then you'd be, instead of 120, I mean 140, you're gonna get what, 147 or so. So you're $3 short. But instead of doing that, I'd rather be short. You get 140, you got 150. I'd rather be short at $10 because you need the money to place out here so that you can make money. So in this case, you have 150, you bet 100, you win 140, so you short $10. But at least now you got $50 to place, right? So you got $50. So wherever you place it is up to you, depending on the table limit. If the table limit is $5, then you can place $5 and $7 and $6 or whatever. But let's say, well, let's just say it's a $5 table. So you got $50 that you can lay out. That's 10, 20, 30, 40. So $50. So you can place 10, 20, 30, 40, $50, and you got all the numbers, but you're short $2 each on the 6 and 8. So you got to go to your bankroll if you want to do it, and place $2 out of your bankroll. Okay, so that is if the 9 would come and you had a don't come bar bet, then this would be the setup. Unless you don't want to cover all the numbers and you want to, you know, then you can do 15 and 15 over here on the 4. You want to make it 6 and 8 18, and then you can make your change, you can make 18. It's all what you want to do with the extra money. Okay, so that's all it is, all what you want to do with the extra money. So there you go, 150 from the don't come to the 9, and hedge with $100, which will pay 140. So what you're wishing for is some numbers to hit that would cover that $10 extra and help you make some money. The good part about having a don't pass bet or don't count bet is once you get past that 7 and the 11, you feel pretty comfortable that, well, I'm not afraid of the 7 anymore, but if the 7 comes, I'm still protected and I can, collect some money over here. And that's the good part about having a don't bet if you're doing this hedge system. Okay, and I agree with that. It's a nice feeling because you're not worried about the 7, because if the 7 does come, you're protected. The whole idea is you want a lot of points. So like you got a 6, so I'm just gonna mark it instead of paying it out. So you already recovered your $10 that you're gonna be short. And 7 out. So you would have recovered the $10. You would have got 140 only for this win, but then you won the 10, so you basically evened out. Okay, so that's the thing. Now let's say I'm gonna try and throw the dice, but I'm not sure what, I'd like to see all the points if possible get rolled so that you can see the 8, the 6, the 4, the 10. So let's say we have 150 there coming out. You got to get past the 7 and the 11. So right there you would have lost that. You could hedge it by betting hopping the 7s, but you would have to put $10. There's 3 ways that the 7s can come, so you would have to hop all 3 ways, and if you hop in them, that would cost you $30. Then 1 would hit, you would lose the other $20, and then you would win 75 for every $5. So you would look at it, you would win only half, because you got 150 and you would win 75 and 75. Oh, that's true, that's okay. You could hedge it that way, you'd make 150, but it would cost you $30 to hop it. Yeah, so for every $5 you win 75. So for $10 you win 150, which would protect that 150. Okay, you would have to hop it though, and then I don't know if you want to cover the 11 for another $10, or you could say maybe 555 and get half of that 150. You win $75. That's all your choice. Okay, so I just wanted to explain that so that you know what kind of options you could have. So anyway, we'll be back on the 9 again. I don't really care for the 9, and you don't have to go on the point if you don't want to. If you don't like that number, then you don't have to go on that number. If the 9 rolled and you didn't want it, you could just tell him, no, just leave me back and I'll take a new number, and they'll put you back. The only problem with that is now you always got to get past that 7-11 because you haven't established the number. Okay, so like 4 now. So you're going to move to the 4. Okay, 0.4. So now 4 pays 2 to 1, so you only need to lay $75. Right? You only need to lay $75. So that would leave you an extra $75 to play with. So that's why the 4 and 10 is the best number that you would want, because now you can lay out $75 to play with. So let's see what we got here. 25, 25, 25. So $75. So with $75, let's say we lay, just to start off, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15. Good, so that's 5 times 15 is 75, but you still got the 6 and 8, so you would have to take out $6 from your bankroll to do this. But the 4 and 10 is the best numbers that you could have for the shooter to go out on, where that would give you $75 to play with. So you need to hit at least one to cover that extra $6. And there you go. You hit the 5. So you'd make $21 and you would take back your $6 that you put out. And then you break even again because the 7. So that's what this basically does. It gets you up on a number, lets you hedge this for the amount you want, and give you extra money to lay out on the ATM. What you really want is a lot of numbers rolled before the 7 comes so that you can take free money. That's the whole purpose of that. Okay, now the only other bet that I think I made a video on, which you can play 150, you can play $100 if you wanted to. So let's just say we're going to play 100. So you're on the don't count. You could go on the don't pass like I said, but the only thing is I don't like betting against the shooter. So if I'm going to do something like this on the dark side, I usually go on the don't count. So you still got to get past the 7 and the 11. So you can still hedge this thing right here, right? You can still hedge your 3 7s, and that would have helped you cover that one at that time. So let's say the point now is 5. And you're going to come out here on the 5. So you got $100. So with $100, let's say you want to play 6 and 8 for 30 each. That's 60, right? Then you can place 10, 20, 30. So that's $90 right there, right? So you still got $10 left. And you can place them anywhere. So let's just place the 4 and 10. Now in this system, you have no protection to protect this don't count bet. Okay, this is not a hedge type bet. This is like hopefully hit a lot of numbers before the 7 comes. The bad thing about this is if the 5 comes, you lose $100. Okay, because you have no bet here on the 5. So this is not an ATM hedge. This is just betting the don't come and placing some money out on the place bets. And hopefully you're going to hit these numbers. You don't want to hit the 5 and make enough money that if the 7 does come, well, it's going to come sooner or later, but when it does come, that you took enough money down here that now you don't care if you lose this because you got $100 more coming for the 7. So 4, that would have gave you $30. So you need $70 more. That's 35 more for the 6. So let's say you got 20, you got 35. 2 numbers hit. Another 6, another 35. Aces. 8, another 35. And we'll try and see if we can get one more number. 4. Okay, so that's another $30. Well, you should have got 30 the first time when I gave you 20. 15, yeah, you should have got 30 for the first hit. So at this point, if a 7 would come, you would lose all this money here, right? You would lose 25, 75, $100. Okay. So what I would do is I would take these all down already. Take these all down, and I bet, let's say, $75 on the 5. $75 on a 5. Before I hit, I think twice, the 8 and the 6. I think that's how we got our money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So those are the hits that you got. So now you just sit over here, and now you're hedging this bet. So if you put 75 here and it hits, you win 105. If the 7 comes, you win 100. So you win $25 more. And that's the way to play that. And that's why I said you would hedge it, and that'd be the way to do it, right? So you'll hit another number, 9, 7 out. Okay, so you 7 out. So what would happen is you lose this, but you win 100 for that. Okay, so you would lose the 75 that was here, and you win the 100 for that. So they would give you 100, so you get this money back because you won 100, and you win $150, $65, $165. You put this 100 out here. You also put 75. You lost the 75, but you compared 100, so you want another $25. So it'd be like 175, 85, $95, $195. That's not too bad, but that's just because the dice rolled the right way. And you know, like I said, if you want to play the don't, I have no bad feelings or anything about that. I mean, you play whatever you want, and a lot of people do play the don't. But I just want you to remember, and you know, if you're learning that that's what can happen, is that you need a bigger bankroll. I feel that you need a bigger bankroll. Don't bet more don't count bets, because you're just giving the shooter more numbers to hit. Even though he don't make his pass line, you're gonna hit your numbers up here, you're gonna lose. If you lay bets, you're gonna have to pay a 5% commission on your win, but you get to pick the numbers that you want. So those are the options and things that can be done if you wanted to play a smaller ATM hedge than $300. The only problem is the smaller you play on this don't, that the less money you're going to have to lay out. And that's why people who play this ATM system, usually they pay bigger amounts. Just imagine if you had a lot of money and you were putting $5,000 table limit on this don't count. Man, you would be laying $1,000 a number when you don't $5,000 comes. Let's say the $5,000 number came 4 or 10. You'd only have to put $2,500 on the 4 or the 10 to hedge the 5,000, because it pays 2 to 1. That gives you $2,500 you can lay out here. And you got 5 numbers. So you're looking at laying at least 500, 500, 500, and another 100 each from your pocket, and you got 600. You got every hand you be hitting 500, right? 600, 500, picking up $700 a number, unless you hit this, and then you're picking up 1,000. So that's why the bigger you bet here, the more money you'll have left to put place out here. But like I said, everybody has their own bankroll and what they can afford to play. And if you win 10% of your bankroll, and somebody who's playing $1,000 wins 10% of their bankroll. Hey, 10% is 10%. You won. That's great. So anyway, that's the idea behind the don'ts and the DC bets. So I just wanted to maybe share some of my viewers up in Vegas right now. They have gone to the tables. One of them lost a little bit, walked away, played some slots, lost $100 more playing slots, came back to the table, played a 66 easy 66, like an easy 75, but $66 worth. Won the money back, broke exactly even. So he said if he didn't go and play the slots, he would have probably won $100. And somebody else played the, I guess, pass line and some place bets. I don't know if he tried to stay alive, but he said that he wasn't doing well. He used the word caught some lumps. Went up to the room. He texted me. He said that he thought about the ATM hedge, went back down, recovered his loss. He won like 400, so I don't know if that was his loss or he won 400, recovered his loss, and made some profit. And so then I told him, well, you know, go to the 75, easy 75, watch the video, and see what when you go down or the next day, try and play that system, see what happens. So he just texted me not too long ago, well, actually an email, and he told me that he played that. The table was cold, but because he stayed there and stayed alive, that after a while somebody threw a bunch of 8s and he had his numbers pressed up to $100 on his numbers, and he made his money back and pocketed more money. So he said staying alive and being patient with the easy 75 really helped him, and he walked away with some money. So anyway, just some stories I'd like to share with you. If any of you go to Vegas, I'd like to hear your stories, good or bad. It doesn't matter. We all, you know, we're not always going to win. Sometimes we're going to lose. Depends what the table is doing. Depending if we're playing smart, being patient. It's all about just enjoying ourselves and make sure you're not losing more than you can afford to lose. So again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If any of you want any shirts, we still got some. And, just email me about the shirts, or if you have any questions, you want to talk, go ahead and email me or put it in the comments. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you like this session. Hopefully Lester, you and Easy Money saw what you needed to see. If not, put it in the comments again, and we'll see if I missed anything or if it did cover what you wanted to learn. So anyway, when you go out to the casinos, stay alive, have a good time, and we'll meet again. Thank you.